Hello, Facebook. It's 12 p.m. on the East Coast, it's 5 p.m. in the UK, and it's time for Broadcasting to Your Community with David Burrows and Steven Healey. Thank you for sharing, Corinda, and thank you for joining us. And let's start the intro. Right, okay, the intro I did today was for YouTube, and I've never had a response like it. It was using the graphic behind me, and I know it looks like I've got steam coming out of my head, but I don't mind. It's about getting noticed, and the graphic certainly does that. Now, one thing about the graphics, if I scroll down here, is that I can actually tell you, if I could copy of it, probably can't copy it now. Yeah, I can. Okay, all the graphics that I use on this show come from unsplash.com, unsplash.com. And I'm grateful to DB, who doesn't say who he is, but DB is a photographer. He took the photograph behind me. I'm using XSplit VCam, and I've got the green screen, and it's full steam ahead. There you are. I've said it. So now, there we are. My backdrop is from there, and back to Corinda, who's saying nice background. And Corinda, hopefully you've got your new Microsoft Surface, and XSplit VCam will be a great addition to that, I am sure. And right, okay, word of explanation. Normally I do this 200 with my good friend David from Sarnia, David Burrows. He, however, is double booked, and he's actually covering one of the Sarnia games today, which starts, thank you very much, Barry, which starts, the Sarnia Sting game starts in, I think, approximately 2 hours, which means he's not got time to do this show and do the Sarnia Sting. And given the choice between the two, he's gone for Sarnia. Can't blame him. They need a victory. I know they need a victory. And if David is there to cheer them on, I'm sure it'll go well. But that doesn't mean that we can't be joined by our friends in Sarnia and say hello to Kelly. Right, so further up this post, I posted a link to the free photograph, which I'm grateful for. And it's just amazing. I mean, this backdrop I used on the intro today, and the intro is going my version of viral. And on YouTube, the intro is there. And Kelly's saying hello to everyone, and Corinda is saying, I see. So that's where we begin with an excellent backdrop. Yeah, David always does a good job. We're agreed on that. But he's out and about with his mobile phone, and his son helping produce the show. And the two of them will be broadcasting in round about 2 hours' time, live to Sarnia. And David personifies broadcasting to your community, because he does go the extra mile to cover events in Sarnia and the local area. And I enjoyed watching the Labour Day parade, which stuck in my memory because of the way that David and his son actually filmed it. So kudos to David, and hopefully he will be back with me next week. Corinda, that's a good point. I think our friends in Canada already know about this, but we've got Storm Dennis at the moment, and Storm Dennis has ravaged the UK, leaving floods in its wake throughout the country. We've got about 200 flood alerts at the moment, and it's not going to go until Wednesday, apparently. There were high winds and the rainfall. We've had as much rain over the weekend as we normally get in a month. So there are puddles everywhere, and trains have been stopped. Flights have not taken off. Everything that could stop, stopped. And it wasn't fit to go out over the weekend, because you just put your head out the door and you were wet through. So our training for 5K has been put on hold until tomorrow, which gives me an extra day to rest and recuperate and get ready for doing the training. Training's fun. We actually train around about 6 p.m. in the evening, and we just go out with our trainers on, our kit on, and we just go running. And Angelica is training for a 5K, then a 10K, and then hopefully a marathon. So the training is, Flynn in Gloucester and Surrey, and if it's been in Surrey, then it definitely exists. Anything in the south. We've had it bad in the north as well, certainly through Lancashire. I know because my son lives there. Okay, so I've got to talk for the next few, but if anybody wants to join me on camera, I'm going to post a link and you're welcome to join me. And so that hopefully, I can't do anything about it now. And Kelly is saying he's seen the flooding of the planes. Oh yeah, that was incredible piloting to actually bring land a plane in a sideways wind. Absolutely incredible. Talking to Corinda, police was in the airport and stopped the pilot. Yep. Okay. And then over to Mr. Upton. You're the second one to say that, John. I was the first to say it. I did a whole 3.5 minute video using this backdrop in the first couple of minutes, and then I looked at it on the replay and I thought, I've got steam coming out of my head. And I thought, well, okay, why not? Why not? At least keep a sense of humor. And a comment from right, okay, and that's my backdrop. And let's go on to more comments. That seems to have come up twice. Okay, no worries there then. Right, one thing I have changed, you shouldn't be able to hear any background noise. Now that, did anybody hear clanking then? If you heard clanking, which is a mouse being clanked, then please say, but you shouldn't have heard anything. I'm testing a piece of software that I discovered over the weekend, which is called, best get the name of it right. Software is called Crisp, and it started life on Mac and iOS, and it's now made its way over to Windows 10 in particular. And the basic thing about Crisp, I'll bring the name up on screen as I talk about it, is it's a noise cancellation system. And it's used by many of the telemarketing companies to actually, and Corinne said he did hear it. So I need to go and work on that and check something out. Okay, but you shouldn't be able to hear too many. Right, okay, and Barry heard it too. So it's not working. Let's just have a little adjustment. Switch it off. Switch it back on again. Okay, so I switched on and off. And let's test again.
You don't have any notifications.
And how Alexa got in the act, I have no idea. Everything's going all right at the moment. Let's try again. And Kelly thought he heard it too. And right, and John's saying he didn't hear it. Okay, I'm going to tap 3 times. Okay, 1, 2, 3. You shouldn't have heard the taps. That's what I'm getting. I do need to practice with this, though. Right, so I've done it again, and John didn't hear the first one. So hopefully you won't have heard the second one or the third one. Because if you've heard that, then my dissertation about Crisp will have to wait until I've done some more testing. I've currently got it on a 30-day trial. I'm quite impressed with it because it did. All right, okay. Now, it's good now. You know what I did? You know how I fixed it? I switched it off and on again. And that's it. So this is basically a boon because up until now, and Burrows saying it's good now, and Corinda, I don't know, it's good now. Okay. So I can tell you all about Crisp then. Let's get the link for it before I explain. Oh, it's crisp.ai. So it is crisp as in crisp and then crisp.ai. Once you've got it set up properly, then it reduces noises. Now, I've got a passageway next to me, which goes from Angelica's office to the bedroom. I've got a bathroom behind me. And up until now, I've had to say to Angelica, I'm going live at 12 p.m. Eastern. Can you be quiet? Now, Angelica is brilliant because she is quiet and she closes the door to her office. But now she's free to go. This is practical. She's free to go anywhere in the house, upstairs, downstairs, outside, inside, open the front door, close the front door, and it won't be heard on the broadcast. And that's a game changer for us personally, because it gives both of us complete freedom. Because if I'm going to use it, then I will get Angelica to use it too. Right, okay, so Kelly didn't hear it. Okay, I did do something. Excellent, Corinda. Okay. If you want to tell us about one or two of them, then please do. It's good to know what's actually coming up in the video arena. Now, the major thing that's happened in Be Live is that we can now schedule broadcasts to YouTube. And you'll find on my YouTube channel 2 videos about that. But first, I just want to stay with Chris for a moment, and hopefully I've got a short video to show you. So I'm going to bring it up on screen. I'm going to switch my camera off. Okay, so you can still hear me, and I'm going to play the video. Hello.
Hello. One of the problems that we face when we're actually going live or doing a recording or creating a video for Udemy is that no matter how hard we try, we're going to get background noise,
whether we're in office or at home. And those background noises will be recorded on the video for posterity, and anybody who plays it back will hear those noises, and it's not good. Because if you're going to repurpose the video and use it for marketing or for selling, then what you want is a high quality video. And if you've got background noises, you've got a problem. So there is a piece of software called Crisp, and I'll bring Crisp up, and you can see there it's attached to my Audio-Technica microphone, and I'm going to turn off the mute noise. Now that means that when I bang that, or anything happens in the background, it will get recorded. But if I put mute noise on, then when I do this, you won't hear anything. And that's what it's all about. It's about removing any background noise. Now that was banging, to my apologies for that. But any background noise, be it from traffic, be it from the weather, be it from anything, is removed by Crisp automatically, and it concentrates on your voice, and people can then concentrate on your voice and not be distracted. Now, as you can see, I'm in the Be Live studio, and down below you can see my camera settings, and all I've done in the Be Live studio is I'm using XSplit VCam. I've got 720 HD, and I've selected as my audio the Crisp microphone, and that means that when I'm broadcasting, it will cut out any background noises. Now, I'm testing this ongoing, but the first response is that this simply works, and it is just brilliant at cutting out any background noises. Now, it simply works. So there you had it, a recorded demonstration. To hear the rest of the video, then I'm learning. You just need to go to YouTube. Catching up with the comments though. Let's take that video off screen, and you just back to me and catch up with the comments. Corinda is saying, yeah, and Mr. John Upton has commented, bathroom behind. Oh, with the jokes. Look like I got steam coming out my head. Bathroom looked flushed. Okay. Ah. I thought we'd escape this week because normally about this time on Broadcasting to Your Community, David does his dad jokes. And I thought, well, if David's not here, there'll be no dad jokes. Enter John. So thank you, John, for the dad jokes. You've got to have a sense of humor. You've got to have. Okay. So those are two of the things. I'm scrabbling for my menu. So scheduling to YouTube means we can do it, means we can market and advertise the shows we do on YouTube. The next one I'm doing is tomorrow with Fonz at 9 a.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. in the UK, when we're doing Anything Goes. Now, I want to tell you a story. This is a story about InVideo. Well, as you know, John and I have been doing the InVideo show, and this week is our 20th week, incredibly. And first 18 weeks, no problem at all. Went live on Facebook. People watched it, up to 400 people an episode. And we're in the groups, and Kelly supported us, and all was good. And then we came to episode 19, which was last week. And last week's episode went live on Facebook as normal, Thursday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. in the UK. And we got to the end of the show, and I thought, right, okay, John and I have been promoted in a show done by Be Live. What I'll do is at the end of our broadcast, I'll play sort of 30 seconds of the Be Live broadcast, which included a video. But that video included music. The music was licensed to Be Live. So when I played the music in our video on the Be Live in 5 channel, we weren't licensed. Guess what happened next? The video was blocked. Episode 19 was blocked because of the music that Be Live played in our video. So I thought, right, okay, what am I going to do? So I downloaded the video in HD from the Be Live studio, and I edited it, and I took out the last 30 seconds with the Be Live video in, totally removed it, and uploaded it again. Okay, 5 minutes later, that same video was blocked, but it didn't have any music in it. These automatic systems, you can appeal, but if you appeal and lose, then that's a strike against you, and you can only have so many strikes against a Facebook page before action is taken. Now, I could actually prove that I'd edited it. I could prove it to be on the cutting room floor. I'd left the music behind, but that was to no avail. So I appealed the first block, but I didn't appeal the second block. Instead, what I did was I took the edited video, uploaded it to YouTube, and YouTube said, thank you, which is one more reason for actually going live on YouTube. They are simply more tolerant of copyright infringement. I don't think strictly speaking, we did infringe copyright, but my moral to this is that if you actually play somebody else's Facebook video in your broadcast with the sound on, and there is music, you're likely to have the whole of your video blocked by Facebook. And no matter how many times you put it back, it's still going to identify, it's still got an identifier somewhere. And lesson learned. So we won't be playing any more music on Inspired Bone video on a Thursday, just to be on the safe side. But we will be staying on Facebook for the foreseeable. Over to Corinda. All right, okay, and excellent, Corinda. Crisp you'll enjoy using it and practicing with it. I practiced several times with it before I actually let it loose. Let's catch up with the comments. Okay, and okay, over to Corinda. Just download Crisp. Okay, And comments coming thinking fast. As some echo with screen share. Right. Okay. Noted. I'll check the recording playback. Over to Corinda. Oh, hang on, John. Can Be Live fix a double speaking when initially running a video from desktop? Noted. You both mentioned it. I shall get on to them. I mean, what happened there is as soon as I dropped myself off screen, I, within a second or two, muted my microphone because you're actually hearing it twice. So it was my doing. Okay, and Corinda's using InVideo as well. Good. John and I are happy. InVideo are happy. Kelly's happy. We're all InVideo users. Do I know when Be Live Studio 2 is going to Twitch? I know it still shows Twitch on the menu. I know it's been removed from version 1. I don't know. I quite honestly can't answer that. There are a whole raft of enhancements which have been waiting until we got to the situation where the video quality was brilliant for everybody. And I've got to say, for the last 6 weeks or so, my video quality has been excellent. And especially since I upgraded to the Microsoft Surface Book 2, because normally at this time, my CPU would be saying, I'm not playing anymore. I would be at 100%. With the Surface Book 2, my CPU is at 42%, which is a total difference. And I don't, because I'm on it, but if you tune in at 2 p.m. tomorrow on YouTube, I think we need to sort of find some way, maybe actually use the bot, not use the bot for a while, might reawaken it. Messenger bots are going to change. Until now, it's been totally free to send out a broadcast. So before we go live, we can send out a broadcast to 170 kind people who've signed up, and you get notification. I will do that on the YouTube broadcast tomorrow, so you get a reminder 10 minutes before. In March, the rules change, and Facebook are monetizing Messenger because now they've got a user base. They can actually start not exploiting, but earning money from it. And if you want to send out messages, then you're going to have to pay. Now, I think it's going to be worthwhile to do that. So I'm going to rejig my policy on Messenger bots and get the broadcasting sorted out. I will be sending out a message to everybody who's currently subscribed saying, would you like to continue? If you say yes, you'll get updates. If you say no, then you won't. And it's time to, because every message I send out from March 17th onwards will cost. So, right, so we'll fix that. And Corinda's corrected himself. And right, well, the question you're asking there, Corinda, will Be Live go to Periscope and Twitter? Be Live currently goes to Facebook and YouTube, but not at the same time. RTMP, the ability to go to any site, is on the roadmap, but I have no date or time on it. And anything I say may, well, I can only be wrong, can't I? And we say hello to Fonz. Hello, Fonz. And Kelly's just been saying he's been missing us. So I'm going to send out a reminder tomorrow. And over to Corinda. And over to Fonz. All right. So Fonz is out and about tomorrow on his mobile phone. Okay. Brilliant. No worries on that score. All good. Okay, so that is that. I think it's about time I actually changed the photograph. Okay, now this is not my photograph, but it is Stonehenge, and hopefully we'll be going there. Angelica's mum is visiting, so we'll be going to Stonehenge at the end of March. I'm looking forward to it. I always enjoy a visit to Stonehenge. I've been looking through some graphics, and these are all from Unsplash, and they're now built into XSplit VCAM. So I'm just going to go through them, and I love, well, they're all good, but I actually love my favorite at the moment, and this changes. Trying to find it, is that one, and this one. I quite like this one too. You can change the mood by changing the photograph. So all good. So Fonzie's out and about tomorrow, and I'm on my own today. Yes, if you want to join me. David is actually covering a Sarnia game, so okay, so there's the link. If you are camera ready, you can actually come on and join. I'm not sure about that background. Let's go for another one, shall we? Let's try that one. Okay, I'm not sure what it is, but it works quite well. Okay, good. And I hope maybe somebody's on the way in. Let's get the messages, and there's the link to join me. Just come in your Chrome browser and I'll bring you on the show. And that, if you want a full house, if you want 4 people on screen, 3 of you can come in, and more than welcome to join in. And I can see that I'm live. I know I'm live because you're all sending comments in, which is brilliant. Okay, and the last comment is mine, so I'm up to date on comments. I've played the video, so I can take that video off. Okay, and just for a moment, I'm just going to bring this into the show. I'm not sure whether this will work or not, but bear with me a moment. And I'm going to bring this into the show, and I don't like that look, but it works. Let's go. Welcome to my channel. If you are a beginner at live broadcasting, if you're an experienced live broadcaster, then you're in the right place. Over the last 5 years, I've been fortunate to work with people around the globe, and we've learnt all about live video together. Now, this particular page that you're on is my own page, but you'll find a lot of my friends here from around the globe that I've worked with and enjoyed working with, and you can see David from Canada, Fonz from the UK, Marco from Portugal, the guys from the UK who broadcast, and we're in our 5th year on Dubbing for Britain. You can see also my partner Angelica with Ask Angelica, German language program. Now, all the videos are here for you to watch, not just to watch, but to learn how live broadcasting can be educational. Right, for those of you who can lip read, then you sort of understood the last thing. Let's just rewind, shall we? This is live. David Burrows is saying, thanks for looking after things today. And I said, you're more than welcome, David. Enjoy the game and enjoy family day or some such. And then David said to turn the sound back on, which is a good idea. I turned it off. I was pretty hot on turning it off there, so there wasn't an echo. And Barry is saying no sound. Okay, we should have sound now. And Kelly is saying Daytona 500 race was rained out today. The rest was rained out yesterday, and they're raining again today. Yeah, the weather's just been atrocious, both sides of the Atlantic. There's so much rain. I mean, I've seen the floods in the US, and they're more than comparable to the ones we've had in the UK. And Kelly said no sound, but there is now. John doesn't have a clue what I said. Well, that's okay. That's okay. I can live with that. I did say it again. Now we hear you. And I'm back. That's good to know. And right, he's on his way to set up for the Sarnia Sting. Well, I've heard the tales of the Sarnia Sting this particular season, and all I can say is I wish you a successful game on Family Day, and you should actually win today and stop the losing streak that you've been in. So best wishes from the UK for a good game today, and may the Sting win. Okay, and that's one of the things that's come out of David and I doing the show together, is cross-cultural. We've joined the UK with Canada, and built an audience on both sides of the Atlantic, and everybody's getting to know each other. So I'm going to take that off screen now. Okay, so the steam's going, and it's back to me. Okay, so I've got sound as well, and Kelly's here. Yeah, and Kelly wishes the Sting luck as well. They do need sport. Sport sometimes it's a strange. It's all about confidence and ability, and it is a game of a chance, a game of luck. However, those who follow soccer in the UK will know that Manchester City have been banned from playing in the European competition for 2 years. And it's all because they tried to hoodwink the authorities by saying that they had sponsorship for their matches from certain companies. But the sponsorship money wasn't coming direct from the companies, it was coming from the owner of Manchester City. And they got caught. So they've lost 2 seasons in Europe. They're going to appeal, but there are very little grounds for appeal. So one of our top clubs will not be able to play in Europe. But if Manchester City can't play, does that mean that Burnley can play? John will come in here, I know. Burnley have got a chance. We are moving up the league steadily. We won last weekend away at Southampton, 2-1. And it's good. We're in the run up to the end of the season, and winter break is over. Now is the time for the lads to come good. And the major teams, Liverpool, Man City, Man United, Arsenal, Chelsea, spend as much as on one player as Burnley have spent on the whole team. And that will always be true. And they do it on a shoestring, but they're still in the top flight. And for a town of a population of 70,000 to actually play in the top flight of English football and to play, well, to win, it's absolutely brilliant. So back to the comments after my eulogizing. And Kelly's wished them luck, and Kelly said hockey is like cricket to us in the UK. Afraid so. I'm not saying, I mean, hockey, I'm going to have to find out about this for next week's show. But hockey in the UK does have a big following, but it's not a mainstream sport. The mainstream sports in the UK are football, or soccer, as you would say, rugby, rugby union, rugby league, cricket, horse racing a sport, horse racing, tennis, because we've got Wimbledon. So there are several different sports, but I don't think hockey is at that level yet. I'm not saying it couldn't be, but it's not there yet. It could get funding and move up. One of the things that are probably the same in Canada that we bemoan is the fact that a lot of our sports are now televised by people like Sky and BT. And if you're actually watching terrestrial television, which we still do, then the number of sports we can watch free to air has decreased dramatically. And from where I'm coming from, that's a bad thing. There are the crown jewels. Wimbledon will always be on the BBC. Some of the Test cricket's on the BBC. Soccer is on the BBC. You see all the matches that are played in the Premier League on the BBC. But you've got to pay to watch. And yeah, okay. I'm not going to rant on that. I might go talk about that with David next week. Okay, so I did earlier today. Oh, Mr. Upton. Okay, John is saying my brother manufactures ice hockey uniforms. He also sponsors the Coventry Blaze. So Coventry Blaze are in the league. Is there a national league? Could you tell me a bit more, John? But obviously, hockey does exist, but I don't see it on television much, and that's where we see most of our sport. So there we have it. There is hockey in the UK. If you're watching live, thank you very much. If you're watching replay, thank you very much. And I'm just going to close a tab. Not that I need to, but it's out of habit to actually lower the CPU usage, which I don't need to do now. I can remove that from my screen. And brilliant comments today. Thank you for keeping the comments coming, keeping the show ticking over as I go to my agenda and see if there's anything on the agenda that we can actually cover. Okay. Now, I don't know what the situation on coronavirus is in Canada, but I'm guessing it's pretty much the same as in the UK. We've got 9 confirmed cases. But the good news is that in China, the new outbreaks are going down on a daily basis. So hopefully the Chinese government have brought it under control. The majority of the cases, vast majority of the cases are actually in China. WHO, the World Health Organization, are watching brief on it. And we're in the UK, we're taking precautions. I feel, though, I don't have the full details. Perhaps John can help me. There is a cruise ship which has thousands of passengers on board, and a quarter of the passengers have actually contracted coronavirus, and they're not allowed off the boat. And there is talk now that our government could actually bring those people back, put them into isolation for 2 weeks. They've been cooped up on the ship for quite a while. I think a mission of mercy to actually bring those people back to the UK and look after them is long overdue. Okay. More comments. Did you hear anything in the background then? Going with my background stories. I heard a background noise. Right. 2 birds with 1 stone, John. Okay. If you're looking for ice hockey apparel in the UK, then you can go to John's brother's website and he will manufacture, because he's already manufacturing for the Coventry Blaze. Okay, there you have it. Advertising. This is a business show. And Kelly's come back and is saying, oh, right, okay, well, those are low numbers, Kelly. I mean, talks are with the people who actually contracted it, but 5 in British Columbia and 2 in Ontario, if I got the BC right, and 3 in Ontario. Yeah. 3, all right, okay, but still the numbers are within reason. The situation is that everybody who went into quarantine in the UK, I think around about 90% of them have now been released from quarantine. So there is progress being made, and I think we have to put it's just the efficiency with which they've actually tackled this particular virus. So a shout out to governments in Canada, the UK, in fact, throughout Europe. Just a shout out in video with myself and John. You can watch the video on YouTube, and I'm just going to see if I can actually copy that. Well, I'll put that as a link in afterwards. Let's just take that off screen. Right, Be Live has been updated. And the update to Be Live is quite an important one, because now when we've got the agenda, we can also put notes. So we can have the title and the notes underneath. So when we're actually doing Blabbing for Britain on Thursday, what I've had to do in the morning is to actually read the BBC and the Guardian websites and sort of get the gist of the story so I can introduce it live on the broadcast. Now, as an aide-memoire, I can put the title of the story in, and underneath that I can put a short précis of what the story is about, so when we actually get to showing it on Blabbing for Britain, I know what I'm talking about. So thank you to Be Live for doing that. I don't know whether you caught the Valentine's frames. I think it's possible that they have now disappeared, although having said that, oh no, they haven't. So belated Valentine's to you all. I thought they'd have gone by now, unless they're keeping them until next year. Okay, this one, by the way, was my favorite, closely followed by this one. Okay, and as we've had celebrations, I'm going to have my own celebration as well, and I just want to see what this says, and I'm going to share it now. My journey on Be Live started with the first live show 1,220 days ago. Ever since, I've been living. I've got 1,037 broadcasts on Be Live. Yay, 1,000. 3,681 reactions and 30,306 comments on the shows. So join me at Be Live and get a free, well, just a minute, wait for that to finish. You may not have seen that. Get a free 30 days trial. And in addition to that, if you contact me and you do decide to sign up, until the end of this year, I can give you a 30% discount, whether you pay monthly or annually. I can give you a 30% discount on your Be Live subscription, which brings it down by 30%. If you want me to tell you, I'll tell you now. If you're at the checkout on Be Live and you type in Steven30, Steven30, you'll get 30% off, whether you're doing monthly or annual. And why not? Be Live is, well, it's simply the best, and the video quality now is par excellence. We've got obviously a few people who out this. Right, okay, catching up with the comments. John's back, and Johnny's saying, right, thank you, John. So there you are, Kelly. That's where all the British hockey is organised from, and should give you an idea of the size of the hockey leagues that we have. Johnny, have you ever been to a hockey match? It's just a strange question, but second link from John, and the Coventry Blaze as well. So we're giving a shout out to the Coventry Blaze and to the British Ice Hockey Association as well. So this is the hockey show. Brilliant. Okay. Any other topics that you want to discuss? As I said, I normally after this show I would go and do a run, but because, and thanks to Storm Dennis, we're not going running tonight because it's too windy. So we'll be going running tomorrow night. So I'm grateful for an extra day's rest. Okay, so told you where my backdrop is, told you about Crisp, and it's working. Did anybody hear a kettle being filled just then? Strange question, I know, but I heard a kettle being filled. You shouldn't have. Okay, just a reminder of where you are, where we are, broadcasting to your community, it should say, eventually. Okay, there you are, it did. Right, okay, that was just me taking a breather. Normally, I have to speak for 30 minutes during the show. Today, I'm talking a little bit more. Right, okay, I'm going to bring a photograph up on screen. I'm quite enjoying doing the BeLive broadcasting tutorials. If you missed it, I did do one about CRISP over the weekend, and I plan to do more. There's been an update to XSplit VCAM, which I'll be explaining later this week. And if you anything you'd like to know about BeLive or about broadcasting, then do let me know, and I will create a video about it, having investigated it and tried it out. I'm always up for trying new things. I kind of froze. Okay. Right. Okay. Hopefully I'm back now. Again, I'll check the recording and see what the recording is like. So if you want to know anything about BeLive, then please just let me know and I will do a video about it. Let's go for another backdrop because we can. And where can we go? The only place we can go is here. One of my favorite backdrops of all time. We're back in Sarnia and cheering on the Sarnia Sting in today's match. So we're doing that now with officially and right. And Barry, thank you. Yay. Excellent, Barry. Thank you. That's it. Angelica can carry on as normal, going upstairs, downstairs, filling the kettle in the kitchen, dare I say it, flushing the Lewis bathroom, all those normal household activities that she said between 12 and 1 on a Monday. She had to stay in her office. She doesn't now. Total freedom. So well worth the $60 a year that it's going to be. And back to Kelly. When you lean forward, you are okay. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on here. I may well adjust the microphone. Okay, it's all a learning process. If you just joined us, this is Broadcasting to Your Community with David Burrows and Steven Healey. Comments. I'm going to watch the recording back this time with the sound on, because I'm looking out for any background noises that actually occurred whilst I was live. But I am impressed by CRISP, and it's good when you actually find something that's going to improve your broadcasting. Talking of which, and Kelly will appreciate this as I come closer to the microphone, I switched microphones again to an Audio Technica microphone. So my setup now is I have a Microsoft Surface Book 2 with 16 gig of RAM, and it's running at about 40% at the moment. I have a BenQ monitor, 25-inch. I have the Logitech Brio camera. I've got the two softboxes either side of me, and I've got the backdrop. And of course, I've got XSplit VCAM. So I reckon this is a better setup than I've had since I started broadcasting 5 years ago. And this will probably last me quite a few years. So who knows what's going to happen, but I'm more than happy with the kit that I have. I just have to learn to use it, Kelly. All right, hang on. Let's go back. Blue Water Bridge is one. Yeah, I loved your photos, Barry. I've been watching. I've been liking. I should have started commenting on your photos. I've enjoyed looking at them. And I was going back in the comments. When I lean forward, I'm okay. So I need to be nearer the microphone. I haven't found the perfect spot yet. And Kelly is saying, I haven't been out shooting photos much. I don't like the cold. Neither do I. I hate the cold. I'd much rather be inside on a cold day. Certainly over the weekend, it was the only place to be because it got pretty rough here over the weekend too. All right, okay. I look forward to seeing those. I love the fact that we can actually take photographs and then post them on Facebook and everybody can enjoy them. And they actually get a wider audience. And the two of you guys, Kelly and Barry, are just brilliant photographers. And in fact, I'm going to take a look at your sunset photos, Barry, and if I could borrow one or two, I'll show them live on the show as backgrounds. But I've still got to go to my favorite background of all time, which you're going to forgive me on this one, is this one. This was taken, I shot this, I took this photo. This is in Dresden Market Square. The pint of lager behind me, well, it's more than a pint, is real. And it was a very hot day, and that pint of lager was more than welcome. So catching up on the comments and going over to Mr. Upton. John, my nephew Daniel plays for Coventry Blaze. Ah, we've struck a vein here. Coventry Blaze L under 18 team. And there we've got the link to it as well. And coming back, thank you for that, John. Coming back to Barry, thank you. Thank you. You know when you've taken a shot that it just works. I was very fortunate. I'm actually sat looking out over the square. Now, backstory to this is that none of the buildings that you can see, apart from the church, were there in 1960. They've all been rebuilt since 1960 in a particular style. So the whole of this area was actually leveled during the war. And it wasn't until the 60s, 70s, and 80s that actually started restoring the central square. And it's just beautiful. It's up there with any plaza that you can come up, you can mention. And right, okay, let's run that one again. This is third time asking. My nephew Daniel plays for the Coventry Blaze. Should have an L in it, John. Coventry Blaze Elite under 18 team. Okay, so the reprise worked, and I think we've got it right now. And go over to Barry. Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Very kind. Look forward to seeing them on my shows during the week, because yeah, brilliant. Thank you very much. Blown away. Excellent. Because this is a win-win, because photographs get a wider audience, because they get watched on Facebook and on YouTube. And I say this bridge of Kelly's has been everywhere. Another one that I like is this one. This one works. Yeah. Again, this is from Unsplash, and you can just download the photographs. You do a search, and you can download the photograph, and it's free to use. There are no copyright problems at all. I spoke about copyright earlier in the show. So it's just, I just love it. I love the ability to actually use photographs as a backdrop to actually tell a story. And I remember when Vincent Burkhardt and I got together in days just after Blab, and he showed me a way of actually telling a story just using photographs. And he said to me, send me 10 or 20 photographs of your life. And I sent them. And he wove an hour-long broadcast around those photographs. So photographs are important, an important part of life. They tell us what's happening now, but going forward, Fons will appreciate this, going forward, they've become part of our history. And photographs are important to all of us. And we live in an age where it's so easy to actually store your photographs. So long live our photographs. And I'm chuffed that I can actually use Barry's photographs now. Right, and over to John. And John is saying his batteries are failing. So John is out and about. Okay, my batteries are failing too, John. I'll tell you the story later. But I actually recouped. Oh, Kelly's saying it's my computer freezing, watching live stream. When I click to new window, a sound, any window, then you go back in your room frozen. Okay, thank you, Kelly. It is getting better. There are occasions when it could well be this end. But I'm just grateful for the fact that we can actually go live and chat to each other. And I'm looking forward to David's return next week, so I only have to talk half the time. I'm grateful for your company today, my friends. It makes this just such an amazing experience to be able to go live and talk to people. I'm going to leave you with the photograph that this may well become my signature photograph, because I'm all, you love this, John. I've got steam coming out of my head. I accept that one. But the other things I am on track, and I'm all about training. Just a minute. Let me just swivel. I'm all about training people to do live video. And this one photograph by JB, who won't identify himself, says it all. And I've got a backdrop. I've got more backdrops coming from Barry and from Kelly. And your personal batteries. All right. Okay. Again, I will tell you a story later in the week. Sounds like we've had similar experiences. And when the idea is that at weekend we're supposed to relax, okay, from the hubbub of during the week. And you, with the best laid plans of mice and men, it never works out that way. In our house, once a fortnight, Sundays is cleaning day, which means clean the house from top to bottom. And we sort of split the jobs in two. So I do the whole of the ground floor, and Angelica does the second floor. But it's got to be done, and it looks brilliant when it's actually done. But it's obviously, I put the music on loud and just do it, apart from when I've got the vacuum cleaner on, in which case I tell Alexa to stop broadcasting. Alexa's going to say something now. Oh, she hasn't. She didn't hear me. All good. And over to Kelly. It's the Harry Potter train. It could well be. I could bill it as that, couldn't I? There you are. The days of steam. I mean, we're fortunate in the UK, and a shout out to all the railway preservation societies throughout the UK who are bringing steam back. Our government has said that they will bring, in the 1960s, there was a gentleman called Dr. Beeching, and Dr. Beeching was a member of the government, and he was given the brief of actually making our national railways profitable. And he decided that the way to make our railways profitable was to axe parts of the network. And the track was just taken up, and basically communities were cut off. You can go by bus, you don't need a train. So in the 1960s, wholesale wrecking of our rail network took place, and many a tear was shed. In the intervening time, many of the tracks have either been taken over by railway preservation societies, wish I could say that, or they become nature walks. And there's one near to us in Bath and Bristol, which I'm looking forward to take, because you actually go, the country walk takes you in one of the tunnels. It's a cycling tunnel and a walking tunnel, all of which I'm coming to my point now about the railways. Our government have decided that railways are now a good thing, because we're all headed towards electric cars and fewer diesel and petrol cars on the road. Trains have got to pull the weight, and they're reopening some of the lines that were closed in the 60s, and there are government grants to help with this. So more power to everybody who preserves our steam trains and our train lines. And on that positive note, that there is something being done about railways in the UK. Let's catch up with the comments. And John is saying it's the wrong color. The HP engine is maroon. All right, it's the Harry Potter steam engine repainted. Okay, no, we can't go with that. John is spot on as usual. And there we have a link to the Hogwarts Express. Okay, on that note, on an engine note, on the steam coming out of his ears, on full steam ahead, and on let's get some training done. Thank you for watching today. David will be back with me next week. It's been my pleasure, and I really enjoyed this. Thank you. Take care. See you soon. Bye. And I'll just bring up the train again. Okay. And comment from Kelly. Be happy you don't book other trains. Wow, I should check that out. Okay, and from Barry, thank you, and to all of you, take care. See you again soon.